Welcome back to The Edge. OpenAI introduces the ChatGPT Atlas browser. Is it the Google killer? Massive AWS outages disrupt Fortnite, Alexa, Snapchat, and a lot of other apps. Meta rolls out some new scam alerts to safeguard older users. Yep, I'm probably going to be targeted for that at some point in time. You're listening to Paid News from The Edge for the week of October 27th, 2025 here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
This is The Edge. Thanks for joining us. Hey, I'm Aaron Sparks, owner of Site Strategics over here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're a digital marketing firm. We're covering SEO and digital marketing news each and every week, separate from our weekly interview series. So go check that out. But the goal here is to get you as much news as possible, as quickly as we can. Be sure to check out everything over at edgeofthewebradio.com. That's edgeofthewebradio.com. Hey, the title sponsor of this show is actually Bruce Clay and his new app, PreWriter.AI, the next level AI-driven content research and briefing tool. Create ultra-relevant, humanized SEO drafts customized for your audience's pain points and built for Google's latest standards. Go over to edgeofthewebradio.com/prewriter. They got some free credits for you to be able to check that out. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in the show later on here, but very cool tool. They've been doing a lot of work there over at Bruce Clay. Joining me this week in the studio, well, he's not in the studio, but studio metaverse here is Greg Finn, Chief Marketing Officer over at Cypress North and co-host of a great marketing podcast. Always love to have him on board. That's Marketing O'Clock. Greg, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm there in spirit, right in the office, right there beside you.
You know, we actually did have at some point in time. Who did we actually create as a co-host here? That was Barry.
That was Bernie Sanders.
That was Bernie Sanders
with his mittens.
With his mittens, we actually had him right
hysterical.
there next to you. So at some point in time, we may actually do a Greg Finn mock-up right here.
Yeah.
You know, what's happening in Greg's world, man? Over at Cypress North, give us a lowdown here.
Everything's happening. Just lots of marketing, lots of ad spend. You know, rolling with all the new things coming out here, testing, experimenting, just like always. So happy to be here. Happy to talk about all this stuff. Love it. Live for it.
We're gonna dig into it. All right. So at the top of the list, we always want to go after some general news, and something that really did crop up last week was ChatGPT Atlas, a brand new browser from ChatGPT. Article over at Search Engine Land by Barry Schwartz, the indomitable Barry Schwartz. Hey, they've released a new web browser and they've named it ChatGPT Atlas. Atlas is currently only on Mac right now and has features that you'd expect from an AI browser. The most surprising part, says Barry, is the built-in search feature that seems to be powered by Google, not by Microsoft Bing, its early partner and one of its largest investors. So the article actually shows you how to actually set up and get it built on your PC. Oh, it's not on the PC; it's on the Mac. And even before anything else, as I was setting this up, it is actually respective to particular versions of Mac. And now my Macs are not really that different in their versions. I haven't upgraded my Mac Air to the latest version, and all of a sudden, I'm just testing it out. I was actually going to use it on screen today, but the Mac Air version, I can't remember what the version I've got right here, couldn't actually function. So it's very narrow in its deployment right now, but we were checking out, and Greg is just chatting before the show here, saw some interesting variations in some of the search results that we were coming up with. Greg, what were your thoughts on some of the, gratuitously, we're just going after best paid marketing podcast, best SEO podcast, but even in the second search, the results were dynamically different, right?
Yeah. I'm on a PC, so I had to go to team members and run through everything and basically commandeer their computer for a minute to check it out because I can't get access to it. But yeah, it seemed like some of the results coming back were different, which is surprising because it is Google, and it's like, how is that happening? At least from what you've seen. I also thought it was interesting. It's like literally the 10 blue links when you hit that web version.
Yep.
They have it broken up very specifically where videos do not pull into the web, at least at the moment. Images the same way. It's like very almost like throwback search
Yeah, it
engine.
really is. Yeah, it really is. They've got, tabs for web, images, videos. So you've got those separate lanes for that. But even the search results, and to your point, were changing without a level of stability. It was really weird. Is that we were looking at top paid marketing podcasts, right? And you guys were at the top, and it literally handpicked you to go look at Marketing O'Clock because it combines frequency, breadth, and solid coverage of paid media trends. The next search that I didn't even have you in the mix. What the crap is
Yeah,
that? How can
that's
it be
so
reliable
odd.
if it's? I know it very much is. I didn't put my thumb on the scale at all in that it was literally the exact same search, two different searches, completely different. Okay, if you're actually trying to roll out a browser what's going to be an agentic environment and it's claiming that you're going to be able to actually integrate into your Gmail and be able to have tasks inside of the platform, utilize the browser to a much greater degree for automatic type of tooling, at least get the search right. Right. So, Jacob, you're on deck. What do you want to say?
I was going to see, I am also a PC user, so I haven't had a chance to try this out yet. But have either of you used Perplexity's Comet browser?
No.
Because they make it really easy. Like you install it and it just pulls everything from Chrome. So your bookmarks and plugins and everything all stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
I've messed with it a little bit, but that's exactly what it's claiming it can do too. Like, oh, if you're in Gmail, we can do things for you in Gmail. If you're in your Google Calendar, all these other things. So just it's interesting that they're all coming out with this, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming making it free for exchange of learning data
Oh,
from
absolutely, absolutely.
know.
And I bypassed a lot of those integrations, going, "Hey, you want to import everything? Nope. You want to connect your email to it? Nope. I just want to see how you work without you getting into my basket of data."
That's right.
I was not
Yeah.
impressed. Go ahead.
Well,
The
maybe it's
other
because you
thing
didn't
I
connect
feel-
anything.
One thing I thought was impressive is the ChatGPT almost like agentic experience alongside the website. Like if we were on our website and we're like, hey, does this have a blog? And it's like, yeah, here's the blog. Here's what it usually covers. Do you want to hit 1, 2, or 3 to see if you want, organic news, paid news, something like that?
Right.
It's pretty nice, like being able to have ChatGPT, especially if you're on something bigger like an IRS site or something like that. I could see people using it. It's a nice feature. And I think all we really care about is having some sort of competition to like Google out there. So like
Yeah.
I think this is nice.
Hopefully, just kind of wondering about the results and how different the results are on a regular basis. Because if I go back through, save my searches, and then see something wholly different, right? Each and every time I'm doing that, yes, I understand it's GPT. I understand that it does key off of your own private behavior, and that's maybe one of the biggest values there, right? But at the same time, having some sort of authority and stability in at least the search space, it's giving me some pause right now. And on top of it, it couldn't even actually install on a slighter different version of my Mac OS as I was throwing it on the air. That's just okay. Such a small segment of users that are actually going to be using this right now. The PC crowd can't even get access to it. So we'll see what rolls out there. But to the point, could this very well be, just to finish off this, a Google killer to challenge Google Chrome, right? We also know that Google Chrome has been allowed to be in the alphabet paddock for at least this particular round of DOJ arguments, right? So they're not forcing a divestiture of Google Chrome. But we also know that Chrome is using a lot of data to be able to actually send ranking signals. This is another kind of concierge moment that is being introduced by the AI tool sets that are out there. Are we thinking that this could be the breakaway point? What are your thoughts there?
I don't know if it's a breakaway or breakout point. I think it's really going to depend on adoption for this, but I just like competition, and looking at this quick glance, it's very, very nice, especially for users that like typically are power users of, ChatGPT. There are paid versions of this as well that give you like different messaging and different custom GPTs and things like that. So I could see for power users, it could be something really beneficial. But I also know like Chrome is trying to work on getting Gemini really integrated in their browser
Yeah.
as well. So like we'll see. But either way, hopefully it pushes, Google a little bit more. And hey, I'm all for just more,
I would
more,
agree
not
with that.
just one.
It does give you the full access to your entire ChatGPT query library as well in the side panel. So that's also useful as you're doing different things. But all right, so the future's not really clear yet, but we are going to be seeing these browsers starting to come into play, just like you're talking about, Jacob, with Perplexity as well. All right, shifting over to another article from Just Weatherbed over at The Verge. Major AWS outage took down Fortnite. I mean, I couldn't deal with that for like a good solid day and a half. That was tough. Alexa went down, Snapchat went down, and many more. The outage took out multiple online services for a lot of hours on last Monday, including Amazon, Alexa, Snapchat, Fortnite, ChatGPT, Epic Game Stores, Epic Online Services. That's why I was actually getting texted by my 14-year-old.
I bet the number one queued Alexa search was, "Hey Alexa, why is Fortnite not working?" But then it couldn't answer.
It couldn't answer. We also saw HubSpot go down for a bit, and also, get this, GoDaddy went down at the same time. There was a login issue that was happening there, and that's not in the article here, but it happened about 3:11 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday. They put forth a final update about 6:53 p.m. Eastern Time. That is a huge amount of time for these services to be down for these applications. And they announced that all AWS services return to normal as of 6:01 p.m. Eastern. Company attributed the outage to resolution issues in its domain name system, the DNS, which translates web domains into machine-readable IP addresses. That's one thing you've got to get right, folks, and have that go down. Somebody, I'm sure, lost their job on this one, or a few people, or a team.
The whole department.
Whole department. I mean, if you're actually servicing that many platforms, I mean, just think about the chaos and anger from all of the Fortnite users, and they're probably around 45 years old. Kidding. But I mean, all the 14-year-olds that were sharpening their spears to go after the server farms over at Amazon. I mean, we are so tied to AWS services right now and the cloud environment that something like that rolls through. We've seen it numbers of different times here. This one was a big one, and it took out a lot of platforms very quickly. And if your CRM's tied to that, if your communication tools are tied to that, right, that can be a sizable detriment to a company for an entire day. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think a lot of times you think Amazon, you're just like, oh, it's all the trucks, the gray trucks delivering packages. But man, every time AWS goes down, like the internet just breaks.
Yeah.
We were heading out on a trip, work trip, and I was trying to do even we use Slack and use huddles, the video call,
Yeah.
all broken. Everything is broken, and it's just
Slack was
shocking
down as
how.
well?
Just the huddle version.
Got it.
So like the video calls. So, but it's like,
Right.
first thing we look at is AWS got to be down. But it's just one of those things. It probably goes on like maybe twice a year, and you're like, oh my gosh, everybody uses AWS. Like wild.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, we were able to recover from it, but it does give you a little bit of a shock to the system of how much we're reliant on these cloud-based platforms and services here. So if you didn't know about it, that's why you couldn't actually get on Fortnite, folks. Just letting you know. Public service announcement right there. All right.
So number one thing.
Number one thing. All right. Glad to have a new title sponsor for Edge of the Web. Hey, if you want your content to truly stand out, it's time to try PreWriter.AI from Bruce Clay. Bruce is a world-renowned SEO expert who's been serving clients for over 30 years, and he's been a guest on this show several times. His latest innovation, PreWriter, isn't just another AI tool, it's a complete content creation platform that turns your research into smart, persona-driven strategies. Imagine creating briefs that clearly map out your audience's needs and then turning those briefs into clusters of connected pages. You can provide each page with natural call to actions that solve real problems. PreWriter even localizes and humanizes your writing, helping you stay ahead of search engines and your competition. Ready for a smarter, more profitable way to build authority and drive results? Visit edgeoftheweb.com/PreWriter. Learn about the free trial that they've got there. See for yourself how much faster and better you can write your content. Go over to edgeoftheweb.com/PreWriter. I want to jump into our next article here from Social Media Today. Meta adds warnings to protect older users from common scams. Meta's looking to help older users avoid online scams because we all know that it's the older web users who are always falling to the latest, I love this, Nigerian inheritance scam or Amazon custom service, although that was down, Facebook passwords, and the like. So they're doing their darndest, right, to be able to give the rest, probably the largest amount of the user base on Facebook nowadays. The demographics growing more and more and more. What? Get off my lawn.
What? Get off my social medias.
According to the FBI's Internet Crime Report, Internet users over the age of 60 submitted the most complaints, suffered from most losses in 2024, and a combined, get this, $4.8 billion with a B lost to scams in this age group alone. The online scams are a massive problem, and Meta's looking to be able to help give some new prompts to alert older users to potential scams. Right. So while it's also sharing some advice that you can pass on to your uncles and aunts who spend more time, or maybe too much time, scrolling through Facebook, they're helping that older generation. This is such a funny article. New warnings on WhatsApp and Messenger that will alert users to common scams. So if somebody's getting a WhatsApp or a Messenger message from Facebook, right, and you're of that older generation, it's coming along with a few additional warnings like common scam signs, job offers promoting cash or money making fast, work from home offers for jobs that can't be done remotely, offering a job in exchange for money. Oh my gosh. You know, what's really prevalent is in the entire marketplace. There are so many scams in that space, and I wouldn't doubt that anybody that's trying to do their virtual garage sale, right, they get so many messages on, hey, I'd love to do that. There's so many different variations of that. But anytime that we sell something, we are just deluged with some scam messages there. So I think this is a great way for Facebook to kind of admit their larger demographic. And they're just trying to help them along, right? So any thoughts there, guys, or should I just move on?
Wait, Aaron, are you telling me that my DM I got from Mark Zuckerberg telling me how I could make a fortune on Bitcoin this morning was fake?
I'm not actually. You should actually respond to him quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Like,
how'd you get that? You're not in that demographic. How in the world do you get that message? That's what
I was just joking. I didn't get that, but I did get a lot from Elon on X. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
And that man is really pushing some kind of meme coins. But yeah, I mean, it's like they could do this. This is like a good use of AI and seeing, like, I'm sure there's some AI element here where they're looking, detecting fraud and reporting, and great. Yeah. Help people out as you can, and people use your service more.
They're also joining, Meta is also joining the National Elder Fraud Coordination Center. That's the NEFCC. There's literally NIFC. There's literally a nonprofit that brings together law enforcement companies like AARP, Amazon, Capital One, Google, Microsoft, and Walmart to be able to combat fraud targeting older adults. Yes, we need the older adults to be protected because they can't protect themselves, right?
Yeah, I just hope that like they do something smart, because I feel like once a week I get a notification that Edge of the Web's Facebook page is going to be brought down or taken down or deleted because it's violating policy, and click here to learn more. It's so clear to me within 2 sentences that it's a scam.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I always hover and look at the link anyway just to double check, but it's some crazy look. Like, how is that not caught and blocked? Yeah. Or if someone's sending that same message to 1,000 businesses, how's that not a red flag on Meta's side? To just it seems really easy to stop 90% of this.
From the source itself.
From the source itself.
And not just message to the user.
Hey, you sent out 1,000 messages. They are all saying that someone's in violation, and then offer a link to click. You're banned.
Kill that account.
Kill that account.
Yep.
Kill that IP.
Yep.
You know, I mean, yeah, they can still make more, but if you can catch it quickly and the person never gets any traction because they're always being shut down, they're going to give up.
Right.
You know,
I
so
completely agree. Completely agree. All right. So for everybody who's listening to the Time That Generation, you should probably actually give some guidance to your older adult, your uncle or your aunt or your mother or your father to be careful on Meta because it is rife with scam attempts, especially in the marketplace, because I can tell you, I've seen it. But at the same time, the digital user does need to have some self-reliance and accountability themselves. They got to know what they're looking at as well, you know? However, my mother doesn't have a clue what a tablet is, and then I've had to train her on getting WhatsApp just to connect to England, and that was a arduous process unto itself. So I have no idea how I'm going to explain that somebody's wanting her money as soon as she gets message, because she'll probably click on that freaking thing.
you know what? You just got to give people rules and say, if there's any money involved, call me first.
Yeah.
And don't ever accept a call from me about money.
Right.
Hang up and call me back.
Yep.
On the number that you have for me.
Side note, she actually lost her phone number that she actually had for 30 years from a scam. That was not online scam, but somebody trying to go through and save her some money.
Mm-hmm.
She allowed them to take over that phone number and never got it back. Couldn't get it back. I was like, come on. All right. Probably not for the entire audience, but you know what? Yes, these things do happen. All right.
Yeah, we all know old people.
Yeah. Hey, easy. All right.
I wasn't looking at
You were looking right at me.
Well, that's because we're having a conversation.
All right, let's get into some paid news because that's why Greg is here. Let's go. So, paid news. First on the docket here over at Barry's site, Search Engine Roundtable, Google Ads text guidelines are now rolling out, he says, with a question mark. 5 weeks ago, Google announced a new feature named Text Guidelines at the Think Retail event. Google said that they're going to be rolling out over time this fall. Well, seeing some new features already. As a reminder, Text Guidelines, says Barry, is a new feature to help you create even more brand-safe, creative steering Google AI to be able to create high-performing text assets. Now, we know that the text and the headlines and the description content has changed over a period of time here, and this is the opportunity to be able to actually give some guidelines and exclusions specifically to not have certain usage of terms in the AI generated information that Google's representing of your brand. Text Guidelines is a campaign level feature that allows you to refine your brand's message for assets made exclusively for text customization. Greg, give me the lowdown on this. Have you experienced this? Is this a benefit, or is this one more chink out of our armor to actually control our own text messaging?
I'm a big fan of this. So,
Cool.
this is for AI Max, which is, Google's sort of keywordless foray into search ads. And with this technology, you give Google a lot of leeway, at least at the beginning, of what the ad copy can do. So this is, to me, that's one of the biggest things that you can do there is you can say, look, I've got certain no-fly zones that you cannot use in my ad copy. So you can't say used, you can't say near me, you can't say cheap, you can't say pre-owned, things like that. So you get guide rails, and you can always choose to use AI Max or not use it. So then now you can choose to use it, and you get these guide rails. That's really important. And then there are also like the restriction. So you can say, let's not talk about bargain, right? Let's talk about value instead of bargain and things like that. So I think it's just needed, and it's a really good step in Google from Google to help get more adoption of AI Max. Still mixed results, I would say, in our accounts with it. A lot of times it's just doesn't spend as much as some of the other keyword types do. But I think this will be a huge boon for people like actually adopting AI Max, knowing that they've got some control.
Cool. And the AI Max text environment does give you a lot of different not only messaging restrictions, but you can also put different variations of descriptions in the different text fields, right? To be able to give the AI Max more creative usage, right? So it's not just one text field. You can actually have multiple text fields for it to use from and be able to create permutations on those ads, right?
Yeah, and it's really smart. You can now have up to 40 different restrictions. So you could say, hey, if you pull in discounts, make sure if you use the word discount in the ad, that it's qualifying products only. Or if you use the company name, the first and second letters need to be capitalized.
Gotcha.
So you get a lot of options.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Keeping on with Google Ads, another article by Anu Redbola. Google Ads quietly tests auto setting new customer value. They're testing this auto set of new customer value, sparking a lot of confusion and transparency concerns among advertisers. Google Ads appear to be testing this automatic assignment of a value to new customers within the new customer acquisition campaigns that you may be rolling out. And it's doing so without advertisers' explicit consent. And I'm sure that probably riles up you, Greg. The change, first spotted by performance marketer Bilal Yassan, has led to unexpected reporting shifts and frustration among advertisers. She said, without any heads up and without it being in change history at all, a new customer value was suddenly applied to a customer. Yassan wrote on LinkedIn, it was set to 200 DKK. One thing is that Google has assigned its value, but another is I can't remove it again. So give me a lowdown on what new customer value, or I should say new customer acquisition campaigns are, and why is this a pretty hot button topic right now?
Yeah, I mean, I might cool off the hot button topic just because Google did come out with a clarifying statement on this. But basically, if you use any like customer match data and you have those emails and Google knows that they are previous customers, you can try to bid greater or bid to new customers to say, hey, I don't want to just hit this audience here. I really want to drive people that are not in this list at all. So it can be really helpful. We use it a lot. We have some clients where it's just new customer acquisition is a huge deal. And we use these campaigns. And then you can adjust up and say, we're willing to pay more for this. And the problem that it seems like is people just aren't using that correctly. So in this case, with that Bilal had seen, she was saying like, hey, you have to go up to this 2188 threshold, which makes sense, to be honest with you. Like new customers should, if you're using this, you should be actively going after new customers. And if you're saying it's like worth 1 cent more, I don't think you're using the tool the right way, just to be honest. And I know it was just an example that she gave, but Google did come out and they said, Ginny Marvin had talked about it a little bit. And then the official update from Google was that the values are not being changed in an account without advertiser consent. So you do have to consent to it. But yes. So, and it's just like kind of AI Max there. It's for specific campaign types for new user acquisition. And I understand why they're doing it. If they did even roll this out and push it in a few accounts, that's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. But it is something that you should have a much higher value or a higher value for new customers.
Roger that. All right. Well, that's good to hear from Google. One of the things that we always hate is that they kind of manhandle or abuse the advertiser. They don't give the available control over some of these automatic changes that they put into place here. They sometimes test it, but a lot of times, and we've talked about it before, it's something that rolls through and you just don't have that available control to kind of divest from that feature or function. So what you're saying here is that you have to consent one way, shape, or form if you're going to allow it, right?
Yes, there's a tool that will help you calculate it. And it did seem like somebody said it was auto switched for them, but Google has said they will not change that without you knowing. But I've seen them put new conversions in without us asking for it before. So who knows what they say is true.
Exactly. All right. On the thread of Google Ads again, this is from Anu, also over at Search Engine Land. Google Ads to permanently delete canceled accounts after 6 months. Google's tightening up its account retention policy. Canceled Google Ads accounts, and I'm also assuming that those are paused accounts, you could correct me here, will now be permanently deleted 6 months after cancellation, marking the end of indefinite account storage. The most important thing here is that even if you've parked this for 6 months, right, you still have that ad data. And what we're seeing here is that they're going to be killing these things off. Is it paused or canceled? Tell me that right there, Greg. Is this a volitional canceling of an account, or is this thing just a non-active account?
So if you do not have any active campaigns for 6 months, your account will be canceled.
Got it. So any of that data, even if it was a seasonal scenario that we ran this time last year for 6 months and we paused it for 6 months, it's subject to be canceled, and we won't have that data to reflect back on of how our campaign went.
Correct. You'll get a 30-day warning email before the cancellation of it, and then that will be gone. And in the past, you've always just been able to store it and be able to view it, and there was no dates that I was aware of.
Right.
But to your point, I think the seasonal thing is like a big deal, because there are
Yeah.
some people that might be just not having a lot of action throughout the year, and then all of a sudden, the holidays come around at the end of the year, or maybe it's a summer, where it's an event or something where it's like you need good outside weather and you're not on in December.
I'm thinking about
January.
landscaping. Landscaping
Yeah.
starts up in February, goes all the way to September or what have you, and then there's no need to actually run ads through that because everything is shut down. You've got a number of months where that thing should be paused and not canceled.
What do you have to do to reactivate? Do you just click a few buttons, or do you need to spend money?
You need to spend money. I believe
Active accounts, active campaigns, rather.
Okay, so you can't just go in and check it and say like, I'm still here, please don't cancel me. There's no
message.
stay alive.
No, there's no stay alive. You actually have to throw money through Google, and that's my point.
Landscaping company has spent $1 in December.
Pretty much, yeah. So anybody who's listening that does have a seasonal campaign like that, look at the time in which you actually did stop that campaign. Clock's ticking, and you're going to get a 30-day notice after that 6-month threshold, right? As I understand it, and it could very well go the way of the dodo, and you have no record of the ad performance either from the previous campaign that you ran. That's pretty tough to actually swallow, Greg.
I might not have explained it perfectly. If you have it canceled, that is the issue. I don't think if you have it active and you just aren't running anything, that's the issue.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people will be like, I'm just going to cancel this right now and then still be able to see everything. That's all going to go away. So like anything you've got historically is that. And if you have that and you're like, all right, we're done for the season and we're going to shut this thing down, that's the problem. But if you have it going, you still should be able to keep that, as long as, again, you're going to have a credit card on file. You're going to have all these campaigns that if for some, because that's the big thing, right? Is like, if something happened, if there's an automation, if you're hooked up to some system and you get turned back on, you're still on the hook for spending. So people will just say like, let's cancel this type thing and have that. Or if something is like old or done, like that's the move. So it shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, all that information will be gone if you have it canceled and there's nothing for 6 months.
Well, pay attention to it, folks, because you don't want to lose that data. Pivot around real quick. I did want to let you know who's also a sponsor for the show. Inlinks, our friends from Inlinks has been a great sponsor for years with the show. They want to make sure that you know about their product, WAIKAY, what AI knows about you. Are you keeping up with what AI knows about you or your company? You can actually stay on top of it on the facts that WAIKAY.io can actually bring you a powerful tool that can discover exactly how AI talks about your brand to key customers and gives you ways to be able to improve it. They actually benchmark against 5 different AI tools: GPT, Perplexity, Claude, as well as Gemini and Gemini Grounded. And it gives you the ability to actually reveal some key content opportunities and flag some harmful link hallucinations along the way. It's very easy to use, and it's a fact-checking tool that can keep you in the know, ensuring your brand's online narrative is flourishing. We love this tool. It's a great new tool, especially now that we're in the AI realm. We need to have additional reconnaissance tools to be able to see what's really being said about your brand. And you can actually benchmark and compare the growth of your AI presence as well against your top 2 competitors. You can run a number of different campaigns based on the concept, not only your brand, but also your brand as it applies to the key concepts that you're pursuing from a business and a new customer build scenario. So as AI is growing, as adoption is growing in this space, you really do need to have a visibility tool that can give you some action items as well. They have an entire list of tactics to actually deploy. That is a really good set of content guidance tips that you can actually use to be able to build up that AI relevancy. So check that out. If you go over to edgeofthewebradio.com/WAIKAY, WAIKAY. You can check that out. They got some free credits so you can throw into the mix and be able to see a couple of cool reports that give you a bit of perspective of the AI knowledge of your brand. Paid news, back over to it. We're improving navigation and introducing a new control for ads for Google search. This is from Ads and Commerce blog from Google. Greg gave this to me, and this is an article from Omcar over at Google. They say that we're improving navigation and introducing a new control for ads for Google search. Every day, billions of people turn to Google search for information, yada, yada, yada. Text ads on search result pages will now be grouped into a single sponsored result label. This is new. A larger label stays visible as people are scrolling, making it clear which results are sponsored, upholding our industry-leading standards of ad label prominence. Now, that's subject for a particular debate in its own right. We're also adding a new hide sponsored results control that also allows you to collapse text ads with a single click if you want to focus on only organic results. I'm going to stop right there. From a paid standpoint, having a hide function, right, that is incredibly detrimental to brand representation, and let alone the opportunity for click traffic from those ads. Greg, it's got to be killing you over there. What in the world are we talking about for a hide function for all ads?
It's not killing me at all. I love it. I love this so much. When you look at these results, before there was always sponsored right above the ads. Big, I mean, not big, but a black bolded sponsored. Now it stickies up to the top, and on desktop, it's just at the top. And then you have 4 results that look absolutely organic as can be. They look like what you would see in the standard SERPs. They do not have that sponsored or ad label by them. And especially the ones lower down are very far removed from the sponsored listing there. And if you want to go hide those ads, you have to surpass every single one of those ads, view the ads, and then hit hide. So I have no qualms with this as an advertiser. I think this is actually going to be fairly detrimental to organic clicks, because these listings, if you look at them, they look as organic as can be. And in many cases, that especially on desktop, those ad labels are far removed from like a pixel standpoint away from the sponsored. And sure, you can hide them. Who cares? You already looked at all of them anyway.
Oh, okay. So we've got impression traffic on that. We've got the ad relevancy that the person has to actually scroll through to hit that hide button. So you're really looking at this as even kind of a parade of those ads before somebody actually clicks that, right?
Yeah. And if they're, like I said, it's just removed from being near that sponsored. It is not as prevalent, that sponsored, near the ads. And especially those ones that are lower in that ad unit. I do this for a living. When this rolled out, I was part of the first test. I clicked on an ad accidentally, thinking it was an organic listing. And I've been doing this since 2005. Wow. I messed up. I clicked on an ad. I did that. And it's like, I think we're going to see increase in click-through rates for ads, probably decrease in some click-through rates for impressions of organic, just because these things look so heckin' organic. I mean, they look like a SERP when you stop.
Oh, wow. All right.
Crazy.
Hey, Greg, your Facebook page is in violation. I'm going to have to take it down, but you can click this link right here. Promise it's real.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, I think, don't you think that the hide ad also kind of gets rid of a part of the population that, for whatever reason, isn't interested in seeing the ads, giving you a better access to the people who are open to advertising, maybe? Or am I overthinking that?
Well, it's on a per case by case basis, so you can't just get rid of ads. You know what I mean? It's
I know, but I'm saying if someone is continually always hiding ads, you didn't really want to advertise to them anyways.
Right.
If they're identifying it and seeing ads and being like, I hate ads, I'm going to get off my lawn. Now you're not showing them ads. You're not getting their clicks.
Yeah, they wouldn't be clicking on it if they went through, viewed all 4 of the ads at the end, hit hide, and then those 4 ads went up. You still serve the ad to them. There's no way you can not serve the ad to them. Like the next time they do a search, they're going to have to go hide those ads again. It's not like you can turn them off. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, I know anybody that hits hide ads, viewed all 4 of those ads, figured out that they were
Right.
ads, have that brand like recognition and be like, oh, this one's an ad. I'm going to hide these and go to the next thing. Like they're making it seem like it's this like amazing feature. And it's like, sorry, you view, if the hide ads was at the top and it's like, here's sponsored results, you guys be like, hide, that would be
Yeah.
different. But you have to read
Right.
every single ad,
Every one of
get to
them.
the
Yep.
bottom, and then hide them after you already read them.
All right, I'm convinced.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a value for paid advertisers. Absolutely. All right, that's why we want to talk about this today. All right, another article here over at Search Engine Land. This is from Anu as well. Google opens shopping ads to physical goods subscriptions. So Google is letting U.S. merchants actually offer product subscriptions in shopping ads, creating new recurring revenue and customer loyalty opportunities here. They're expanding e-commerce options in the U.S. by allowing merchants to sell physical goods through subscription models directly in the shopping ads. And this move aims to boost convenience for shoppers and flexibility for sellers. So what are we talking about from a subscription standpoint? Merchants that are selling coffee deliveries, right? Or pet supply restocks, things like that, without leaving the Google shopping ecosystem. It's a huge opportunity for brands and categories like that, personal care and the like, to boost customer retention and lifetime value. This has to be a great factor for online advertisers who haven't had that availability in the Google shopping experience. And we all have our different subscriptions, this, that, and the other. But if you're seeing it in the Google ecosystem and you can actually, just like you can do with Amazon, have that recurring order, but now you've got that in Google shopping, that's got to be an incredible new value for advertisers. Do you have any companies that do subscriptions with your company?
We don't do any subscription based stuff now. We have some things that are like adjacent that this could be used for, but it's just such a big industry now. And I love shopping ads. I love, love, love commerce in general. And shopping ads are, I think, just unique because you get so much more context before you click through. So sometimes that person that makes the click, they already see the price. They already see the shipping. They already see the
Right.
reviews of the product. They already see the store reviews. And they're a little bit more qualified in a way, right? Like if you're saying,
Yeah.
I'm clicking on this $5,000 bathroom vanity, I know what the price is. I'm not going to be like sticker shocked by it. So
Right.
with this, you can say like, hey, I've got this subscription for caviar, right? And maybe the cost would be like too much for them, and they wouldn't make that click. So with this, you can have your cost, you can have like how often, so weekly, monthly, yearly, the period for that as well, and then just the dollar amount. So I love shopping ads because you get to give people more context to the product before you click. It's not just like a text ad.
Sweet. I love it. And again, the more that you can get closer to a consumer base that's trusting the Google shopping ecosystem, right? And that they're trusting it, they enjoy it, and you can actually offer up that additional revenue model. You're going to have not going to huge growth, but you're going to have a lot of subscription-based companies. So we get Black Rifle coffee here all the time, right? If I can actually also know that I can even get a cheaper price over there on the Google shopping environment, right? Why not gravitate to that as opposed to going through the front door of a website? If you want to deploy that, you should be using in your subscription feed subscription_costs as the attribute, including attributes for billing period, week, month, or year, like you're talking about. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I think it's a win-win. Like
I think so.
you can see that price, date, everything, more data. Love it.
Absolutely. Last article on the dock here, just be able to show growth, right? Last article, Google ads miss growth opportunities from Search Engine Roundtable by Barry. Google's testing out a new section. I wanted to end with this one with you, Greg. Inside of Google Ads Advertising Console, it's called Missed Growth Opportunities. This section actually shows you the performance you could have achieved last year if you just adjusted your bids or budgets for campaigns with growth opportunities, according to Google. This was spotted by Maggie Humphrey, says Barry, who posted some screenshots and details on LinkedIn. She wrote, it looks like Google Ads is testing out this new tool, this new tab, I should say, which shows potential clicks, conversions, and conversion value per campaign based on Google's recommended bid and bid adjustments. Gave some screenshots on that. It's reflective of a particular period of time, which she also said you You cannot adjust. You can't select a particular parameter that Google's giving you a window in. When you select Google's view recommended, you're brought to the campaign target simulator screenshot that she had attached there. There's no date range selector. Her current report shows October 6th to September 28th, last 9 days. She said, I'm not sure what is significant about that particular time frame or if there's any type of date selector in the next version. You can also not export that data at all. So her recommendation is just taking screenshots of this and use that as some steerage model. What are your thoughts on Google jumping in there and say, hey, you could have done more if you just would have spent more money with us?
Yeah, and one correction on that, Maggie here, right upstairs, here for me here now, found that it actually goes back about a year. The dates were just
cool.
goofy, and it looked like it was that, but so you can go back about a year. And
Great.
the one thing that I think is really unique about this is we've seen this reporting. If you've got a good Google rep, you've seen something very similar to this, saying like, here, spend more, or lower your targets. But you can there's not a lot, we're bracing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the Cyber 5, all that. There's not a lot you could do at this point, right? Like you're probably set in stone with how things are going to run with adjustments here and there and making sure everything's optimized. But with this, you can go back and say, hey, if I had more budget, even with the same targets, I could have spent more and gotten more back, right? And that the potential clicks from a larger budget, I think, is the thing that really is helpful, where you can say, look, I have this new tool here. I'm just going to quick check and see if my budget for this date is good, or if I think it actually last year I could have gotten more. So this is actually something everybody can use that's in e-commerce like today for this coming Cyber 5 season. So I think it's great. The higher bids, they're always going to say that. I don't know why everything isn't just through the roof on that, but really if you have higher bids, you're going to have less efficiency. It's more like the budget, that is a tool that everybody can use this season.
Right. So you should have those type of projection of that kind of prognostication, but it's also reflective on whether or not your campaign was really honed in with the best level of optimization from a conversion standpoint that you're doing, right? Or not. Is it giving you some prediction on conversions, or is it all just click traffic and ad performance, not the conversion layer?
Yeah, so you can see conversions, and then you can see conversion value, which is really all you need as long as you have clicks there, and spend really is what would make the most sense to me. The only issue is it's sort of at the account level. So it's not at a per campaign basis that I've seen. It's only the account. But then you can go in and see all the account of the campaigns and say, what's the recommendation? But again, from a budgetary standpoint, this is a tool everybody should be using.
Fantastic. And forgive me, I didn't realize that Maggie Humphreys was over there at Cypress North. So kudos to that. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, she's great. She's a monster.
Fantastic. Well, Greg, is there anything that we can promote for you on the show today as we wrap up here?
No, just if you want more Marketing Clock, we do this, shows out every Monday now. And I guess also it's new over on the Rusty Brick channel with a new Morty and Barry Schwartz every Monday through Thursday.
Fridays off.
Fridays are off.
Yeah, good. So all things being equal, how is Morty over there? Is he doing all right? We haven't talked to him.
Morty is never all right. I will just say, I know Morty is a big presence on this show, and people know him very well. Morty is Morty. He is a character. And the thing that's always shocking to me is he seems to never have moved past maybe the year 1992. Every reference is like Sandlot, Top Gun, things like that. So it's hard to keep up.
We probably should give him some cliff notes of the last decade, of at least some references that he can use for his diatribes, right?
Yeah, we also need to send him that meta safety article so that he doesn't get scammed.
Very good. All right. Well, let's wrap up here. Thanks so much for joining us and talking paid ad news on the edge. We certainly would love to have you come back around in the near future. Good luck into all the Cyber 5, the entire you're locked and loaded for all your clients going through the next month and a half here. And there's a lot to do there. If anybody is actually looking for some help when it comes down to the paid ad space in this period of time, go check out Cypress North. I'm sure you'll be able to help them, right?
Well, maybe next Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but yeah, give us a shout.
That's awesome. All right. Hey, check out the show that's dropping here, or dropped last week. That's a second episode of the Karen and Shelby interview, principal SEO from Yoast, as we talked about LLMS.text and what you should be doing with your content strategy. Make sure that you go over to our YouTube channel as we're pushing out our video content. But more importantly than anything else, if you like this show or other shows, go over to ratethispodcast.com/edge. That gives you the ability to give us a review, and it really does help our show. And you get that to the top of the list. Although ChatGPT's Atlas is still trying to figure that one out. So from all of us over the edge, stay safe, stay well, and do not be a piece of cyber driftwood. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Morty is old.